Once upon a time, there was a cat named Vasya. To the outside world, he seemed like an ordinary courtyard philosopher. A soft belly, slightly messy fur, whiskers sticking out in different directions. But deep inside his soul, an idea had long been brewing. It was time to become a real athlete. How much longer could he keep dozing on the radiator, chewing his food, and chasing imaginary pigeons in his dreams? A true hero had to be strong. One morning, after a hearty breakfast of 3 bowls of food, he ate 2.5 right away, leaving the other for later, though he came back to it 5 minutes after. Vasya stood up, looked in the mirror, and gasped. "Is that me?" he exclaimed in horror. "My sides look like couch cushions." He sucked in his stomach, straightened his whiskers, and tried to strike the pose of a bodybuilder. The result wasn't great. His belly still hung down like a punching bag. "This won't do," Vasya said firmly, striking his paw against the floor. "It's time for sports." That very day, he discovered his owner's old treadmill. "Oh, this is my path to glory," thought the cat, climbing onto the rubber surface. His paws slid a little, but he froze proudly. At that very moment, his owner decided to experiment and turned the treadmill on. The belt whirred and began to move. Vasya took one step, another, and suddenly realized he was running. His eyes went wide, his ears shot up, his tail stiffened upright. "Meow. Who's dragging me?" he wailed. His paws moved so fast that any rabbit would envy him. But 5 seconds later, Vasya flew backward with a crash and landed on the mat. His owner was laughing until she cried, while the cat sat licking his fur indignantly. "Fine," he muttered. "The treadmill isn't for cats, but I'll be back." A couple of days later, Vasya noticed his owner's dumbbells. Small, pink, 1 kilo each. He walked over and sniffed one. "Ugh, smells like sweat. But never mind, strength is strength." The cat wrapped his front paws around a dumbbell and tried to lift it. The result, it didn't budge, and Vasya flipped over onto his back. He lay there sprawled out like a defeated gladiator. "Well, never mind," he said. "Next time I'll lift at least a mouse, a plush one, for warm-up." But the toughest challenge turned out to be the mirror. Every evening, Vasya sat in front of it, staring at his reflection for a long time. At first, he admired himself. "Ah, what a handsome fellow. Whiskers like the antennas of a spaceship, eyes like 2 golden suns." But then he would start nitpicking. "No, the belly is still too big. The fur sticks out. What's that fold? Do I look like a sofa?" Sometimes he even argued with his reflection. "You are not a real athlete. No, you are not a real athlete. No, you are." His owner would walk in and see the cat swiping his paw at the mirror. She would just shake her head. Completely lost it, a failed athlete. Vasya himself began to doubt. But then, a miracle happened. His owner rolled out her yoga mat, sat down in the lotus position, and closed her eyes. Vasya immediately settled down next to her, also crossed his paws, almost, closed his eyes, and let out a long meow suspiciously similar to a mantra. Meow. With every minute, Vasya grew calmer. His tail stopped twitching, thoughts about his belly disappeared. He felt inner harmony. His owner tried to do downward-facing dog, but Vasya demonstrated downward-facing cat and arched his back so magnificently that his owner burst out laughing and toppled over. From that day on, every evening Vasya practiced yoga. He no longer ran on the treadmill, didn't touch the dumbbells, and almost never argued with the mirror. He simply sat on the mat, gazed into nothingness, and purred. His belly, of course, did not disappear, but Vasya stopped worrying about it. One day, the neighbor's dog, Sharik, came up to him. "Well, kitty, still training?" He smirked. "Of course," Vasya replied proudly. "Only now I'm a yogi. I have balance, harmony, and zen." "How?" Sharik laughed. I run every morning. I've got muscles. And all you have are meditations. Muscles are for dogs, Vasya replied calmly. Wisdom is for cats. Sharik left, but deep inside he was envious. He realized Vasya didn't work out at all, but everyone around thought of him as a philosopher. And so Vasya decided to write down his fitness tips. If you're a cat and want to run on the treadmill, first make sure you have wings. Dumbbells are meant for resting your paws on. Lifting them is unnecessary. Mirrors always lie. Better to look at the food bowl, it's more honest. Yoga is the true sport for cats. The main thing is to claim the mat before your human does. True strength isn't in muscles but in the ability to purr so that everyone thinks you are wise. Thus, Cat Vasya became not just a pet, but the spiritual mentor of the whole courtyard. Neighbors came to him for advice, children rubbed his belly for luck, and he sat serenely on the yoga mat, purring. Harmony, Zen, and a bowl of food. These are the three pillars of my universe. And if anyone asked him, Vasya, why do you even need a gym? He would just smile slyly and answer, I'm already in shape. Round shape.